Hi, I'm James Dickey, Senior Trial Counsel for the Upper Midwest Law Center, the Minnesota nonprofit public interest law firm that fights for liberty and the rule of law. Welcome back to Minnesota Law Weekly, where Doug Seaton and I update you on important developments on legal issues in Minnesota and how we at UMLC are your voice fighting for you in the courts. Today we are talking about one of the most important and, in my view, underrated issues facing our state: government transparency. We at the Upper Midwest Law Center just recently filed a lawsuit in Minnesota State Court on behalf of independent journalist Tony Webster against the Minnesota Department of Employment and Economic Development and Commissioner Steve Grove because of their failure to uphold this important government responsibility. Throughout the COVID-19 pandemic, DEED, as it's known, and Commissioner Grove communicated essential information to Minnesotans through Twitter. Among other things, Commissioner Grove announced agency updates on unemployment, grant making, and hiring decisions, solicited feedback from Minnesotans which he promised to use in agency decision making, and on behalf of the government answered questions from Minnesotans concerned about unemployment insurance payments, the condition of Minnesota's economy, and more. Commissioner Grove's tweets have been quoted and embedded in news stories and retweeted or quote tweeted by government entities and officials to keep Minnesotans informed, including DEED itself, Governor Walz, and Hennepin County. Through Twitter's reply, quote tweet, and retweet functions, Commissioner Grove's tweets also serve as a public forum for Minnesotans to discuss state actions and state policy, expressing their approval or disapproval of government actions. Our client, Tony Webster, is an independent journalist and researcher. He observed complaints from Minnesota community members that Commissioner Grove had blocked those constituents' accounts on Twitter. In doing so, Commissioner Grove prevented those Minnesotans from receiving Commissioner Grove's governmental updates and participating in the public forum created through the commissioner's tweets. Mr. Webster wanted to research, analyze, and report on this issue, and so he submitted a request under the Minnesota Government Data Practices Act seeking a list of all Twitter accounts blocked and operated by DEED or Commissioner Grove. DEED first violated the law by failing to produce any responsive data for over 6 months. When DEED did finally produce some data, they provided an incomplete Twitter block list for only the department. DEED also refused to produce Commissioner Grove's Twitter block list, claiming that the account the commissioner uses to provide DEED's important updates to Minnesotans, quote, is not a DEED Twitter account and falls outside the scope of government data and therefore the Minnesota Government Data Practices Act. These are all blatant violations of the Government Data Practices Act. Under Minnesota law, the government must produce public data in response to requests from citizens within a reasonable time. Waiting 6 months to deliver a simple block list is entirely unreasonable. Likewise, if you are a government official and you use your personal social media to tell people about government issues, and the government itself reposts your content as official government statements, you can't avoid transparency laws because you used your personal account. Mr. Webster is right on these issues, and we expect the courts will agree and deliver a victory for government transparency in Minnesota. That's it for this week on Minnesota Law Weekly. You can learn more about the Upper Midwest Law Center's many cases by visiting umlc.org, and you can also make a confidential, tax-deductible donation on our website or by sending a check to 8421 Wayzata Boulevard, Suite 300, Golden Valley, Minnesota 55426. We are a fully donor-supported, zero-charge, nonprofit law firm, so we need your help to pursue all our cases. Thank you, and we'll see you next week.